Today, if you're following us, and thank you for joining the webinar. My name is Aaron, and we're going to be talking about the graded readers and how to use those online. If you have any questions or comments, you can always leave something in the chat, or you can ask a question directly, and we can answer those as a group. There's some eFuture colleagues online helping me. I'm going to turn that off. And we can answer those as we go or at the end, okay? So, just a brief introduction. My name is Aaron. I've met some of you before, I believe, and I've worked for eFuture, with eFuture for several years now, and I'm now in Wisconsin, a state in the Midwest of the United States. This is a picture from one of my trips to Colombia, eating one of my favorite dishes. You get it all with that, okay? So again, we're talking about the graded readers for how to use them online. Yes. Before I go any further, I would just like to say from eFuture, from my colleagues, from our partners, and from myself that I hope you guys are all okay and safe during these sort of surreal times we're living in. I hope your families are healthy. I hope you're healthy. I hope your students are healthy. And just, yeah, continue to be safe and healthy and make the right decisions, okay? So let's move on. Today's agenda, I'm gonna talk briefly about kind of the basics of online teaching and Zoom. I think Gary has touched upon some of this as well as Sue. So I'm not going to talk about that too much. I'm going to introduce our graded readers and then talk about a reading lesson and kind of show some of those elements in a sample lesson, but only parts of a sample lesson. And then I want to end it with, any questions or answers or comments that you guys might have, okay? Sorry, one moment. Let me just see how I can open the, okay, never mind. So, if you are a teacher that is looking to do online teaching, you have two primary options. You can do an online class where it's live and interactive. Your students are there with you. They can respond, they can ask you questions. They can do activities with you, and that's, again, more interactive. And most people are using Zoom for that, but you can also use Google or Microsoft or various other platforms. The second option is you can record your class on your own time, with a video camera or your smartphone, and then share it later, and students can look at it whenever they want. Both have advantages. Both have some disadvantages. If your students maybe have a bad network, maybe option 2 is better. Okay, but option 1 is ideal because it's an online classroom setting. Is everything okay so far? Can you hear me okay? Okay, I'm going to assume yes. I can't really see my chat. So again, two options: online interactive class or record it on your own time, upload it, and then you can share it with your students and they can do it anytime they want. If you decide to do an online class, especially using Zoom, you have, again, two more options. You can do a webinar or you can do a meeting. So a webinar is like what we're doing right now, where there's one host talking to the students. You see my screen, I can do polls, I can do questions and answers. Or if you have a smaller group, you can do the meeting where everybody is on video everyone can see each other, and then you're kind of sharing ideas there. So if you have a large group, the webinar is much better. If you have a smaller group and you want to be more interactive, then the meeting platform is better. Okay? I would say the meeting is also better for a speaking or listening class. But again, they're both good options. They'll both get the job done for you. Okay. So some basic tips of an online teaching class. Oh, there it is. Hi, yes, good evening. Nice. I want to minimize it. Okay, so some basics of online teaching. When you're planning your lesson plans, try to keep the activities short. 10, 15 minutes, take a short break. 10, 15 minutes, take a short break. Okay? Keep lessons simple. I mean, that should always be a rule, but try to keep them very simple. Try to use lots of visuals, okay, with labels. And I'll talk about why labels are important soon. Try to invite parents when possible, okay? So online classes, the classroom management dynamics are now different. You know, if your student is misbehaving, you can't punish them or discipline them the same way. So maybe having a parent there with them will kind of act as a new classroom management. And maybe have students have a notebook or journal available. So maybe if you ask a question, they can quickly write an answer and then they can share it that way. Never mind, that's in the meeting format, okay? They can also just take notes, or you can ask them questions and they can write down the answers, and later they can take a picture and send it to you. Okay? Just one quick thing, raise hand. If you have any questions, I'm going to assume my colleagues, Gary, Sue, Yeti, Jason, will answer them in the chat, because I can't currently see the chat. Oh, it's breaking up really bad? Damn. Is it still breaking up badly? Can you guys hear me okay right now? Yes, yes, okay. Yeah, good. Okay, I'm going to continue. I will try to check the chat periodically, okay? So, some basics of Zoom or whatever platform you're using. Make sure you know it beforehand. Do a practice session with friends or other teachers, but understand the platform. Know your network capabilities. If maybe your students have a slow network, try to understand that. Understand the function of the mute button. Okay, the mute is very helpful. If your students have a very loud background with noise, maybe the parents are vacuuming or they're just misbehaving, you can mute them and it won't disturb the class. Decide between videos or not. Try to use polling and Q&A. So let me show you an example of polling. So I can send you a poll. Oops, no, hang on. And then you guys can answer this. And this is a nice way to make it more interactive with your students. So the first poll question is, how are you doing today? I hope you are all, ooh, I want dinner. I hope you're all doing well. And this is just a way you can kind of make it more interactive with your students. Okay? I'm okay. If you're okay, I hope you get better soon. I'm glad I'm seeing some excellence and greats. I understand the need for dinner for sure. Whew. Okay, so set some basic rules for your students when you're using online teaching. Make sure your students know that the same rules apply and that there are some new rules that you must learn to do, such as no chatting while teacher's talking, maybe muting yourself. Okay. So if you're going to do an online lesson, these are kind of the 6 basic steps that you need to think about when you're preparing. 1, you need to set up the meeting or the webinar time. Then you can hand out an invitation to your students. Oh, shoot. 1 second. I need to put my glasses back on because I am blind. Okay, so after you set it up, then you start to prepare your lesson using PowerPoint or Word or whatever you want to use. Then you start to collect the resources you are going to use, YouTube videos, PDFs, ebooks, worksheets. You start to collect those. Then you're going to set up your online classroom space, whatever's comfortable. You want to make sure the lighting is okay. You want to make sure the audio is okay, the video is okay. Now, a big problem some people are having is make sure you wear pants during a webinar. A lot of people forget to put their pants on. They get up, and it's very embarrassing, okay? Finally, you start your webinar, and you're ready to go. You have your students there, and you can teach, okay? So very basic instructions. Let me just check the chat real quick, make sure everything's okay. Okay, so as you start to use Zoom more, you will start to realize what kind of Zoomer you are. Some of these are okay, some of these aren't. You have the Zoom, the guy on his iPad, he's in front of a window, he kind of looks creepy. The vertical, the guy that's always drinking water or tea. So some of these are okay, some of them not okay. You can also change your background if you want to. Just make sure it's appropriate and not distracting. And again, wear pants. This guy forgot, he got up, and now everyone can see his non-panded legs. Okay, so just some basics to using Zoom. Now, today we're talking about the classic readers. Okay, so I have a quick poll question. Just give me one more. Oh, The top menu bar does not want to appear for me. Okay, here we go. So here's another poll question for you about graded readers. Please take a second and just give me some feedback. Do you know what a graded reader is? Have you used a graded reader before? Okay, I'm seeing mostly yeses, some no's, so I will talk about what they are then briefly. A graded reader is a story book that is graded towards your student's level. So that means the language is graded, the vocabulary is graded, the grammar is graded, and that way you can choose the right level book for your students, okay? So for example, if I was going to give this book, no, not that book. If I was going to give this book to first graders, it's not graded, and it'd be very hard for them. So you need to choose the right book for the level of your students, and that is what a graded reader is. So if you have first graders, you can match the right level, okay? They're really a great resource for reading. I mean, they're very good to use for reading. So our graded readers, we have a lot of them to choose from. Today I'm going to focus on lower elementary. Okay, so this is like A1, 300 to 200 head words. And you inside each book, you get your pre-reading, your reading, and then your after reading. And there's also YouTube videos for each story, which is what we're going to use today. Okay, so if you go to YouTube, not now, afterwards, you can find all of our videos for our graded readers, and they're a great classroom tool. So when you're preparing your online reading class, the resources you have available are YouTube videos, you have your resources, your workbook, your worksheets, maybe PDFs if you need those, you have the internet, you have PowerPoint, Zoom, and then student notebooks. Okay, so this is kind of your what you need to get ready for your online class. And we have a very extensive graded or classic readers collection, over 180 books from kindergarten all the way up to secondary. And it's really a great tool to help kids with their reading and their motivation and their confidence. Also, we've created an e-library, which will have all of the e-books, and that will be ready soon. And the first 2 to 3 months, we're going to give you free access so that you can use it, you can learn about it, you can share it with your students, especially during this sort of pandemic. It's a good tool because you're going to be doing online classes for a little bit. Now, when you have any questions on our material, I want you to look closely at this, and these are the people you can ask, okay? I should have all of the countries covered. I hope I didn't misspell anything. I hope I didn't choose the wrong flag. That'd be really embarrassing. If I picked the wrong flag, I really apologize. But I will share this at the end as well. But this is a good page because it gives you the contact information of our partners in different countries. Okay? Let me just quickly. All right. Also at the bottom, you can see that we have a YouTube page full of our graded reader videos, teaching tips, sample lessons, a lot of great stuff. And then we also have a Facebook page that gives you updates on our programs, on our seminars. It's another great thing to have. And I highly recommend that you subscribe and follow just to kind of keep in touch with what's going on. Okay? Okay. So let's quickly talk about reading. I want to give a quick poll. Hang on. Come on. Let me just pull up the poll bar. There we go. Oh, don't be shy. Yeah. Experience. Reading difficulty. Okay, so I want you to quickly just answer this. What do you think is the most challenging part of reading for your students? Vocabulary, grammar, sentence length, story interest, story length, or all of the above? Okay, right now it looks like it's a battle between all of the above, and vocabulary takes the lead. vocabulary is taking a strong lead. I think vocabulary is going to be the winner. Story length is not competing at all. All right, well, the number one challenge when reading or when teaching your students to read, is the input. It's simple as that. The words on the page are the most difficult part, okay? So you have your book, getting this coded language, these words and sentences into your brain and making sense of it, comprehending it, is the challenge of reading, okay? And so when you are choosing a book or a story to read, you, the teacher, must find ways to make it interesting to your students and comprehensible. If it's not interesting and not comprehensible, the reading will only get more difficult. So when you look at the reading cycle, okay, your student begins to read. Right away, they're going to be interested in the story or not interested. Then they're going to understand the story or not. It's going to be too difficult or too easy or perfect. And if they understand it and are interested, then you're going to get these confident, comfortable students in class. Okay? And you're trying to build a positive relationship with the book. Okay, that's the goal. You as the teacher, this is your job right here. These two, you must make it interesting and you must make it comprehensible so they can understand the story. If you can do those two things, you'll be doing your job as an educator. So what does this reading process look like? There are 3 stages. The first stage is before reading. This is getting the kids ready for the book, for the story. You want to build in their background knowledge. How do they connect to the book? What do they know about the book? What do they know about the story? You want to have them make predictions. Give them previews of the story beforehand. And pre-teach vocabulary. Vocabulary should not be a big roadblock to reading. They should be comfortable with it before they read. And then if you want, you can introduce key concepts and themes, okay? During reading, just have them listen and read. Okay, use the audio, let them use their eyes, and just practice. You want to do some out loud modeling. And I'll show this to you later, but out loud modeling shows students the reading process, how to comprehend, how to work through problems. You're kind of modeling that for the students. Fluency. I think that's the most important for lower level kids. They have to practice and practice and practice. And then check for understanding. After reading, check comprehension, review the vocabulary, and then try to do something with output, okay? So when students read, they're getting this input, it's going in to their brain, they're comprehending it, and then you got to let them use output, speaking or writing, okay? So it's kind of like a cycle. All right, let me quickly just make sure everything is okay. I think it's okay, right? Yeah, okay. So I want you to, this is kind of my way of showing you the emotional stages a child might go through during a reading class. Now, this is for a student that has a hard time reading or doesn't enjoy it. Some students just love to read and there won't be a problem. But when you have students that don't like to read or they think it's hard, this is kind of their emotional process. So before reading, so at the start of class, you say, hey kids, today we're reading. Oh, gosh, teacher. And you give them the book. Oh. Okay, so now is where your job comes in, and you start to do some background knowledge, make connections. They start to think, oh, I understand that. That makes sense. And then they're starting to comprehend it. They're ready to read, but then you give them the book, and they get a little nervous again. Ooh, this looks hard. Ooh, but then you go through, you practice with them. You do fluency, comprehension, and they get that practice. They get comfortable. They think, oh, I understand it. And then at the end, when they have read a book and they're motivated, they're very happy, they're excited, and they have a positive connection, relationship with reading. Okay? So this is kind of the emotional cycle for a student. One second. Uno momento. Okay. So let's just do kind of a sample lesson now. These are things that I think you can do and you should do when teaching an online reading course. So our book today is The Tortoise and the Rabbit. Okay? Maybe you're familiar with it, maybe you're not. So before we start reading, we're going to focus on background knowledge. We want to build interest. We want to focus the students. Their brains are full of different knowledge, and we want to focus that onto what the story is going to be. Okay? See that fancy yellow rectangle? PowerPoint. All right, so a good way to start is just the title and the cover. Okay? Ask them questions. What is a tortoise? What is a rabbit? What are they doing? Where are they? What is that creature with the pants? That dog is ready for a webinar. Okay? What is he holding? What is that black and white flag? And then you can start to, talk about themes of the story. So this story is about some animals that participate in something, and you can kind of ask your students. Now, here's where labels become very helpful. I use labels now because it makes discussion a lot more easier. All right, let me give you another poll. So wait, let's first discuss these. What is number one? Okay, number two. Rabbit. Nice, Sylvia. What's number two? Fox or maybe a fox and a cat? No? Okay, let me do number three. This guy, raccoon. Nice. What's number four? Turtle. Very good. Or a tortoise. I will accept both because this is not yet a science class. Tortoise and turtle are correct. What is number five? I see someone wrote owl. Danny wrote owl. Close. Owl. Number six. Very good. Okay, so we're starting to discuss these key animals. Now let me do a quick poll. 1 second. Poll. All right, so I want you to think about your favorite animal. What is your favorite animal? And then what is your least favorite animal? So we have rabbit, tortoise, bear, dog, cat. Oh, I have bear twice. Tiger. The second question, what is your least favorite animal? So far I'm liking the answers a lot for that. Favorite animal, dog, seems to be winning. Oh, hang on. 1 second. Is Franny here? We have a dog at the house, and I was going to try to get her to come up and say hi, but she's at the dog park. Okay, so dog seems to be a favorite. The least favorite is, yeah, I agree. All right, so now we want to match these. So we take, the illustration, and we're trying to build more connections. Okay, so number one is the porcupine. Which letter is the porcupine? So this is all about building those connections. Okay, so number 2 is the rabbit. Where do you see the rabbit on your right? Is it A, B, C? I think it's A. Where's the raccoon? 3 and C. All right, so you get the idea here. You're trying to make these connections. I need to kind of speed through this a little bit. Now, real quick. This story is about a race between a tortoise and a rabbit. How do you think these animals are? Do you think they're fast or slow? Do you think the rabbit is slow or fast? Or what about the elephant? Or what about which animal do you think is the slowest? Okay, so the animal taking a nap on the tree is called a sloth. Which animal is the fastest? All right, so if I had more time, I would spend more time discussing this with you, but let's see the answers. Oh! So the fastest animal is the cheetah. Then the horse and the rabbit, and the slow animals are the sloth, Aaron, and the turtle. Usain Bolt, he's a very famous runner, is about as fast as a bear. Elephants are actually very fast. So how fast are you? Are you a good runner? Oops. So let's just do a quick. Let's just do one more quick poll. How fast or slow are you? Are you very, very slow like a sloth? Are you very slow like Aaron? Are you slow like a turtle? Sort of slow, average. Very fast like a horse? Wow. I like it. Okay, so now next time I do this, I will not include average. I see that as a mistake I made. Is anyone so fast you can't even see me? All right, so I see we have some very slow and some very fast people in our class. So sprinting or jogging, how are these different? I'm going to kind of go through these a little quickly so I can get to the during reading part. So now you're just trying to teach your students the difference between sprinting and jogging. Okay, so sprinting is fast and short. Jogging is slow and long. All right, so now one great thing to do is have your students make predictions. Allowing your students to make predictions, they want to know if they are right or wrong. Okay, so you can ask them questions. Do you think Rabbit is fast or slow? Do you think he's nice? Not nice? Do you think Tortoise is slow? And now they're starting to think more about the story. They're getting a better idea of what they're going to read. Another activity I like to do is I like to have them look at a picture and write down as many words as they can. So I'm going to take away the picture of Sue. I want you to look at the picture and type as many words as you can see. Okay, are you ready? I'll give you 10 seconds. Go. What do you see? Type. Okay, you can see a house, flowers, grass, a turtle. Now you're trying to engage the students in the picture. Oh, I need some light. I can't open my... So another thing you can start to do, after they write some words, you share those with the class. Okay, so some people wrote they saw shoes, pants, a hat, a big bear. Now, next thing, why do you think these animals are laughing? Who do you think they're laughing at? All right, so previewing really helps students get more comfortable with the story, okay? So that way when they open the story, when they open the book, they're already familiar with the ideas. And you can have them guess, what do you think comes first? Do you think number 1 is first, number 2, number 3, or number 4? Okay, so they can start to imagine the story. They can find clues. So number 1, it says finish. Maybe that's the end of the story. What is Rabbit eating? Okay, again, I'm going to just go a little quickly through these, but we will share the PowerPoint at the end, and you can use them, or you can use it. Vocabulary. Just pre-teach it. It's all you got to do. Make the kids comfortable with the words. Make sure they're familiar with the words. Give them different activities. You can start with a very simple matching activity. Okay, so number 1 is lettuce. That must match with B. Number 2, embarrassed. And then you want to make more connections. So give them some pictures. So we have 1 and E, 2 and C. These guys are both falling down. Another thing you can do, have your students create their own flashcards. Now, vocabulary is all about making connections to different things, to words, to sounds, to pictures, to definitions. So this are keywords embarrassed. First, they can write the definition. Then they can write more about the word, the adjective, or what is embarrassing? Falling down, dropping something, maybe spilling your water. Okay. And then you can add some pictures. This guy looks embarrassed. The embarrassed emoticon. Rabbit is embarrassed. Why is Rabbit embarrassed? And now students are starting to really understand the word. And if they need to, you can use the translation. I hope that's correct. I got it from Google. If it's not correct, write Google a letter. All right, so you want to really build those connections. You can start to use some audio. So I want you to listen to number 1 and tell me what vocabulary words do you hear?
No one can win a race against me.
Rabbit is embarrassed.
He laughs so much he falls down.
Falls down. Okay, so now they're building a listening connection.
Rabbit and Tortoise can see the finishing line at the end of the town.
Okay.
It's under a
Whoa.
tree and
Just gonna
eats a
fly through this
lot of
slide.
lettuce.
A nice thing you can do with Zoom is you can play Pictionary with your students. So I'm going to maybe, hang on. Come on. So my toolbar at the top keeps disappearing. There we go. So I can start to draw, and kids can draw and they can guess. So I'm going to draw a vocabulary word and I want you guys to guess on the chat. Are you ready? Now, I'm really bad at drawing, so don't laugh. But you can start to use these features. What's this? What am I drawing? Can you see it? Oh, lettuce. Very good. I think that is from somebody that is very familiar with this activity. All right, then you can clear it. And one more. What am I drawing here? Finishing line. Very good. Okay, so that's a nice little tool you can use. Oh, now how do I turn this off? All right. Okay. Another fun way to teach vocabulary is to, use some kung fu. Hang on, we have another animal that's going to join us. Hey. Never mind. The dog was going to come say hi, but she's very shy. She's never used Zoom, and she's not wearing pants, so I don't think she wants. Hi, Franny. Franny, come say hi. Franny. Say hi. Hey, Franny. Hi. Hi, webinar people. All right, sorry. I apologize. Okay, Franny, you gotta go. Come on. Get out of here. Thank you for joining, though. Yeah, she's a cute dog. She's also kind of old, sad. So, Kung Fu. Now, I like to use this because it gets kids up, okay? So, let me do one with you. I hope everybody's doing this at home. But it's a good way to get kids moving. So, if I want them to practice speaking, fall down. I want them to say the word 3 times, do the Kung Fu, and bow, okay? So, fall down, fall down, fall down. Fall down, okay? So it kind of just gets them up. It's practicing. Spell the word. Oops. Lettuce. Lettuce. Okay? Now, are you guys all doing this at home? You better be. All right, let's get to the during reading now. So Kung Fu's fun. It gets the kids up. I'm now tired. All right, last one. This is a story about winning and losing. You can ask your kids, do you like to win? Do you like to lose? How does winning make you feel? They can talk about the different emotions. And then it's really important that kids think about this. If you win, how should you act to the other people in the competition? Okay, this is kind of a key concept of the story is if you win or are going to win, how should you act? Should you act kindly? Should you act like a jerk? Take a selfie with them after they lose? All right, so You're trying to teach these key concepts. All right. So now we're to the story. Okay. We've done all the background knowledge. We've prepared them for the story. And now I just want them to listen and read. They should be familiar with what the story is going to be about. Okay, they know the characters, they know the vocabulary, they know it's a race, they're comfortable, they're ready to read. So first, just have them listen and read. And again, this is on YouTube.
The Tortoise and the Rabbit. One day, Tortoise is walking in the town.
Volume up.
Many people are listening to Rabbit
Okay, I'm going to try to turn the volume. Oops.
smiling. Tortoise goes to listen to him.
I'm faster than it.
So I can't turn the volume up any louder because my laptop is very anti-loud volume. But the idea here is after you finish this webinar,
Buddy,
go to YouTube and watch these videos.
no one can win a race against me.
Wow.
Tortoise is very angry with Rabbit.
Ooh.
All right, so because of time, I don't want to watch the whole thing. But the first time, make sure you just let your students watch it. Don't interrupt them. Don't stop for questions. Just first time, let them watch it. And then the second time, you can start to ask questions. You can pause it. You can reread. And you can kind of make it a little bit more intensive. So please, after this webinar, go to YouTube. I'll show you the link in a second.
Read time.
All right. And then after they've listened and they've done some reading, you can start to really look closely at the language, okay? So maybe we've read this page together and you can kind of take breaks and ask key questions. So for example, many people, hey students, what is many people? Do you think that's A or B, C, or D? What does many people look like? And you can start to tackle some of this language, okay? Or we have I'm faster than everybody. So we can look closely at the grammar here. Faster than. Person or thing, I'm, plus verb, adjective, faster than person or thing. So, an example, Aaron, person or thing, is slower than a turtle. Now we can try to use new words, and I want you guys to practice. My brother is slower than me. An elephant is bigger than... Okay? So these are some ways you can start to really look closely at the reading. You can start to practice a little with the fluency. Yes, you are fast. Now teach them the pauses. This gives them good intonation and rhythm when they're reading. Yes, you are fast, says Tortoise. Pause. Okay? You can start to maybe, if you want, focus a little on the grammar. Where are the verbs? And the kids can circle it using the whiteboard. Where are the prepositions? Now, I don't think you should focus too much on grammar at this age, but if you want to, you can. And then you can start to personalize the story, and this helps with comprehension. He laughs again. Do you think Rabbit is being nice? Why is he laughing? And then ask your kids, what makes you laugh? Okay. So we learned this key word. What is this green thing? Rabbit likes to eat lettuce. When you're hungry, what do you like to eat? I like to eat pizza, huancaína, fritanga, and I think tacos. Tacos is my favorite. Number one. Oh, and kimchi. Kimchi pizza. Kimchi fries. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about food. So now you're kind of tackling the language of the story. This becomes a little bit more intensive reading. And then you want to give them some fluency practice. So I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds. I want you to read this as many times as you can. All right, I'm going to take this away and you're going to start reading for 20 seconds. Read it once, twice, thrice if you need to. Ready? Go. So your kids should be practicing the reading. They want to see how many times they can read the passage. All right. Now another way you can do this is I'm going to take away this picture and I'm going to time you. So I want you to read the sentences and then check how long it took you. Are you ready? Go. So read and check your time, and then you can share your time if you want. It took me 2.2 seconds. All right, so these are just fluency practice ideas, and it's very easy to get these little videos in your PowerPoint. I can show you how to do that. Wait, let me just check the chat. 10 seconds. Nice, Alberto. Donga, thank you, but I think you need to check your glasses. All right, so now the during reading is just understanding the passage and doing it over and over and building fluency. And then after reading is probably the easiest part. All you're doing is checking comprehension and vocabulary. And then if you want, some kind of project for output. So let me just kind of go through this. I'm sorry, the time, I don't want to keep you guys too long, so I'll kind of do this a little quickly. So a great resource for the after reading part is the worksheets. Now you can get those worksheets online, or our partners can help you get the worksheets. But they're available as a PDF, and they're a great resource. So they have all these different types of questions that you can use. And when you're doing an online class, there are 4 good ways to ask these questions. PowerPoint, give it as homework, show it, or something called Kahoot. So you can kind of create your own classroom, all right? Tortoise is in the town. Let me just open up the poll real quick. Oops. And then again, you can kind of add the poll and they can start to, so number 1, tortoise is in the town, finishing, sitting, walking, or watching. Okay, someone did number 2 already, which is amazing. And number 3, number 2. Early the next day, everybody is the race. Are they sitting the race? Are they watching the race? Are they finishing the race? Okay, so this is one way you can kind of use the workbook. You can kind of use it as a classroom on PowerPoint. And then you can kind of, there's a lot of different things you can do. So you can do word blanks. You can do true or false. Dog is walking in the town. False. Rabbit, lettuce. True. So again, you're just checking comprehension, and you're kind of making it interactive. Okay. So again, the workbook is available online at our websites, which I'll show you at the end, and is also available. So then you just download it, and you can use it like this. And you can say, all right, kids, do number 1 on your notebook. And then when they're done, they can take a picture, and they can send you the picture. That's one way you can do it, or you can just kind of make it interactive like this. Now, this is a very cool little tool that is free to use. I strongly suggest you check this out afterwards, but you know, the one thing is students need a phone or a tablet, but you create the questions and then they can answer them on their phone, and it's a lot of fun. It's really a great activity. So when you create it, it looks just like PowerPoint. It's very easy to make a question. So what is it? Then students will answer on their phone, and then you will see their answers. It's a great tool, and I suggest you try it out. So again, that's Kahoot.com or Kahoot.it. And then at the end, you know, you want your kids to do some kind of activity. They can share it on Zoom. They can do a show and tell. They can bring in, you know, different stuffed animals, and they can talk about the animals. We have a deer. These are not mine. Okay, these are not mine, my sister's. There's a rabbit. They can do a show and tell about a turtle, or even Wisconsin badger. Okay? They can do a book report, and they can show you. Or they can do like a little play where they create their own figures and they tape it, and then they can share it. There's lots of things you can do. So I know that kind of got quick at the end. Let me just wrap this up. We're almost done. When you're making a lesson, think about before, during, and after. Get your kids ready, get them comfortable, get them practicing and familiar, and then make sure they understood it. Check the comprehension. Your resources, our eFutures websites, Zoom, Google, Kahoots, YouTube, our partners. All of these are very excellent resources that you can use to create effective, fun, and engaging online classes. Okay? So again, if you need any help, you have the partners, you have eFuture, and you have the internet. And all of this can really help you succeed in making a fun and easy online class using the graded readers. Okay? So I believe eFuture is going to, I'll let eFuture answer that last thing, but we have plenty more webinars coming if you would like to join. I think next week, oh, that's a soul time. So if you look at the times, uh-oh. Chat. Oh, right. So as you can see in the chat, my colleague Sue gave you a web address. Please check that. Yeah, Aaron? How come there's Aaron exclamation? This is Sue, by the way. Isn't she lovely? All right. This is my first webinar. I hope you guys got something out of it. I hope it was helpful. I really don't know how to end it properly. Are there any questions? Do you guys have any comments? Can I help with anything? There is no two questions. All right. Well, this PowerPoint, I just want to make one more announcement. eFuture has kindly created this emergency reading kit that you guys can use. They're going to send that to you. It includes the videos, PDFs, and it's really helpful. So they're going to send that to everyone that participated. And sorry, I'm looking at this direction and also looking at the chat. I really thank you guys all for your time. You can always email us if you have more questions. And wait, there was a question I just saw. How to work with the limitations of time with Zoom. So with Zoom, if you want to use Zoom for free, you get 40 minutes per session. If you pay $12 a month, it's unlimited time. So there is no time limitation. So maybe talk to your school and they can set up an account for you. But again, if you use it, the free, it's 40 minutes. If you pay $12 a month, unlimited time. Okay? What is the cost of the ebook? All cost questions. Vivian, good question. Ask your local distributor or partner. They will help you with that, okay? All right, I'm going to log out. Thank you so much. Be safe, be healthy. Your students will really appreciate your hard work. And again, contact us. We can help you anytime you need it. All right. Ciao. Bye.